Hi everyone, welcome to my new setup, my new video setup. I thought long and hard, and as I am going through my own personal journey with coaching and with my own life, my own journey, my own personal development journey and growth, I accept myself a lot more and more and realize that this is so much more my vibes. I'm super chill vibes. So my videos are not going to be a lot more chill. Thanks for being here. I want to talk today about control. Control is a big subject that I coach on, but it's also a big subject in my life, and maybe in yours as well. I was a person that always wanted control of everything. Partly because I have anxiety disorder. And when you're an anxious person, you want to know everything immediately. Like you need to hang on to safety a lot more than like a regular person that doesn't have anxiety. So for me, control was so important. The unknown was like, oh my God, the worst. So I was always a person that clung to control and knowing everything. So there's something astronomical that happened to me in my life, which was completely out of my control. The result was anyways, I had some control in the journey, but the result was up to faith. And that was not being able to have kids. When I was 26, I got married. I found my person and I'm very blessed for that. And then when we were 29, we decided to start having kids. When you're young, you dream about, getting married. Well, anyways, I did. A lot of us who grew up in an Italian household, I can speak for them, or pretty much any immigrant household, you have aspirations of getting married, having kids, working hard, and being happy. That's what kind of is the programming that's passed down to us. But when I was young, I really wanted those things. And when we were trying to have kids, when I was 29, we realized a year in that it wasn't happening. So we decided to go consult a fertility specialist. And I remember the first fertility doctor I saw said, "You're never gonna have kids. And it's better for you to adopt." And I remember going in the car with Tony and we both were sobbing for like 20 minutes uncontrollably because it was like, no, this is not our life. This is impossible. Like, that's not gonna happen to us. So as of that day, my infertility in vitro journey began and lasted 7 years of my life. And for 7 years, I put my mind, body, and soul into this. And it consumed me completely. Everything I can control about the journey of infertility and in vitro, I was going to control. So all of the drugs, the different protocols, the different doctors and clinics, I decided to, like, something wasn't working somewhere, I was going to go switch and find something better. And I did that. I think it was like 3 clinics, 6 different specialists. I transferred 9 embryos, countless hours, and really like praying. Later, unfortunately for us, the result was always negative. I couldn't control it. It was out of my control. The result was completely not up to me. And that was a realization that I had to process. Because up to that point, everything I had ever wanted happened to me. So this was a lesson of life. And this lesson was a big one. And I had to process what it meant for me, for my future, for our marriage. And I had to surrender to God at that point, and to faith, and to my path, and to this life. And I had to tell myself that it was okay. I had to tell myself that a life without kids is okay. I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive God for not giving me what I wanted. I had to forgive myself for not being able to give myself what I wanted. I couldn't make it happen for us. And it was tough. It was therapy, and it was a lot of soul searching, and it was a lot of tears and a lot of sadness and a lot of frustration. But through my process, this lasted 7 years. And through this process, something inside me kept telling me to just keep going. And something inside me kept telling me that it was going to be okay. At the beginning, that voice was really low. Like I could barely hear it because it was like the worst case scenario. But as these years went by and as I was processing the idea of relinquishing this control, I was able to process, and I was really able to let go. And I was able to realize that in the end, I wanted to be happy, and I wanted to live happy, and I wanted to thrive in my life. And I don't want to let this determine who I was. I didn't want to let it determine my mood forever. Because even though in those years and in those moments it was sad and painful and frustrating, it wasn't going to break me. I just made that decision for myself. I made that decision for me. Like, this is not going to break me. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to make it okay. I'm going to find things that make me happy, and I'm going to be able to thrive in my life, whatever that means or however that manifests in the future. You know, what you can control is basically one thing, and that's you. You can control your decisions, your mood, your energy, how you show up in your life. That's what you can control. But the things you can't control are far greater. Like the weather. Think of that bride that gets married on a rainy day. She can't control the weather. You can't control trauma that's happened to you in your life. That's done to you in your life. You can't control betrayals by other people. You can't control other people. You can't. You can only manage yourself. So for me, the realization that I couldn't control death, but I couldn't control birth either. I couldn't control that. So I did a lot of soul searching, and for me, after that moment, it was a lot of working on how I wanted to show up for me. And that's when I really started to be self-aware about what can I control and what can't I control. And the stuff I can't control, I'm going to surrender. I'm going to let that go. Someone is trolling me on Instagram, or someone's talking bad about me behind my back, or I can't have kids. I'm going to surrender, because all I could do is show up for me in my life. All I could do is be there for myself and try to figure out the things that make me happy and do good in the world and try to uplift everything around me. That's what I could do. So if you are a person that is having control issues, I hope this story helps you in some way. And what my advice would be how to relinquish control starts with surrendering, listening, accepting, forgiving, living in gratitude, having faith and hope for your future. Those are all things that you can do. And I would tell you that some things that are going to happen in your life are, again, out of your control. But if you think about it this way, and this is a really good perception and perspective, is nothing happens to you. Everything happens for you. Nothing happens to you. Everything happens for you. And with that, I will say onward and upward.